We are a family of 6 who call the ocean our home. We feel incredibly blessed to be doing this life together as a young family, embracing the ups and downs of what is a life at sea. This is our floating home, Happy Days, and you are invited to follow along as we share this incredible adventure. Have a laugh and be inspired to pursue a life less ordinary. Click the subscribe button to keep up to date as we see where this journey takes us.
In this episode, we are in Bocas del Toro, Panama, and we invite you into the realities of boat life as we prepare Happy Days for the next leg of our journey. For those who think boat life is all sunsets and surfing for us, we show you the other side of life and how we keep this adventure alive with some serious sweat and grit to get it all done.
Today we are servicing the generator, so we've just changed the oil, which Bells and Ted and Archie all helped with, and it's interesting, you know, the Jenny is such a vital piece of gear because it runs our water maker. That's where the benefit of a 12-volt water maker is huge, because no Jenny means no water maker, which means no drinking water. So we've just changed the oil on it, an oil filter. We're about to crank her up and check the levels, but as I was just having a look around, I'm not overly mechanical, but I do have a wee bit of an eye for detail. So I was looking over the back of the generator here and noticed some sort of salt crystals down here, and this here is our exhaust elbow. And it would seem that we have a pinprick of some description in the exhaust elbow, and the exhaust lets both exhaust fumes and also salt water run through it, which cools it, and it runs through the exhaust elbow and out our exhaust. So that's not so good. Just the way that these Jennies are made, like this is all in a case, and then we've got gear all stored through here, like fenders and dock lines and our parasailer. So you get a wee bit lazy and you don't come and peel this back every time you start it, whereas ideally you probably would. So I try and have a look maybe once a week. I'll pull everything out, pull it apart and have a look. But it's probably been 2 weeks, hasn't it, this time? And I wonder if I had have... And we've run it more because we've had visitors, grandparents have been on board, and just more water, among other things. So I want to believe that our fix, which was a bit of JB weld, a bit of JB steel stick, will do the trick for now, and we will order a new exhaust elbow. Interestingly, this is the second exhaust elbow on this generator. It's got about 3,500 hours on it. This one's stainless steel, whereas the factory one is a cast iron elbow. So Archie asked a very good question before, didn't you, about them? What was your question?
Why don't they use bronze?
Bronze, of which I don't have an answer, but I like it. I like the thought of bronze. Maybe it doesn't like the temperature, but this just seems to be a more hardy material. So that's where we're at today. We've done some schooling work this morning, some boat jobs in the afternoon, and then we'll probably go for a wave on sunset. That's the plan.
It's raining today. We've set up this little cubby today
Hello.
over the engine. Fourth time, is it?
Fourth time.
Yeah.
Let's believe that this is the last time.
Hopefully. Third time on the starboard one.
Third time on starboard. First time it went when we had the vessel in the water for less than a week, and then it went when we approached Costa Rica after 180 hours, and then anyway, I think it's actually due for a new drive cone, and I want to believe that will fix it, and we have a new drive cone to install. So
I'm gonna do it before we keep going passage.
yeah,
So
we're gonna do it before we go. The catalyst for changing the cone clutch was that we were having slippage when we were going in and out of gear. So from neutral to either forward or reverse, sometimes it would engage and sometimes it wouldn't. And that is just, well, dangerous, to be honest. So when you go into gear, you want to make sure you're going in the direction in which you need to go. So that is why we invested the time. So this is the old one, and this is the shiny, somewhat expensive new one.
How much did it cost us? This
Here in Panama,
this precious thing.
$960 US. This is a game of millimeters or percentages of a millimeter. But what we can see is that this outside section here on the used one has been worn down. This is where the grooves are. You can actually see that there's a heck of a lot more meat on here, whereas this one is skinny. Likewise, these little grooves here, which let minus any as they let the oil sort of in and circulate, they're considerably different. This is again worn down. It's a lot shallower compared to that one.
Mm-hmm.
Those who have vessels with SD50s in them, I reckon you could probably lap a couple of times. We have about 3,500 engine hours on, and that's what the drive cone looks like. So that's probably worth investing, replacing it at some point in time, and then let's hope that you get a similar amount of use out of it with a couple of laps along the way. We'll let you know how it goes. Listen to that laugh.
Oh, we're just done.
This is our fourth time.
Third time on the
Fourth
side.
Third time on this side, yeah. I know. It seems ridiculous. We're getting good at it though. Let us know. We don't charge a big fee, but we'll come and help. Our whole boat just went dead from a power point of view. We just woke up because we heard an alarm going off, and we had never heard it before, and then we came up and discovered it was saying our batteries were only at 10 volts.
Yeah.
And then the whole boat, it said charge now, and then it just went dead. So we're not sure what's going on. Why are we all awake?
Our batteries are down to 10.7 volts. That's not good.
And I've never been.
Lord.
I don't know why.
So we've had to turn the generator on in the middle of the night, which we've never ever had to do. The boat went completely dead. Everything switched off. We're a dark boat. I guess that's a safety thing, which is wonderful, but they were at 100% last night. At about 6:30, 7 o'clock last night, they were at 100% charge. So something's not adding up. During the night, we just have our anchor light on,
Fridge.
just the fridge. We turn the freezer off so it doesn't draw at night, our fans, cabin lights, and then the water pump is on so that we can, turn the tap on and water will come out if we need it. And that's about it. That's on at night, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we find ourselves in a dilemma. We've been looking at weather windows to leave Bocas to head north, but this is a serious issue. We don't even know, we're going to have to wait till daylight, I guess, to visually inspect the batteries and diagnose what's going on. The idea of spending more money and more time and replacing the battery bank or whatever it is going to look like is just makes you feel yuck and tired and
Yeah.
You guys can head back to bed if you want.
Yeah, I'm going to try and lay down.
Okay.
Probably lay up here with the...
Good night.
Hey.
Look, we got the Jenny.
I know.
Meanwhile, we're running the Jenny that has a pinprick in the exhaust elbow that we patched up, and I hope it's not
Yeah.
spraying water.
Can't move very far. It's got a little leak.
Oh yeah. Oh, that too.
Like we fixed the sound drive yesterday.
We've got all this stuff too. We've got to do a pinion seal
Our engines are covered
on one of our engines. Oh man! Boats! One of the batteries had gone bad, so we measured up, ordered new ones, and kept them topped up with the generator when we needed to. Unfortunately this morning the captain was doing his regular engine checks, and what have you found?
An oil leak from our sail drive where it connects to the engine. I believe it's the pinion seal, but it's a bit of a mongrel to get to, so...
You have to move the whole engine?
Yeah.
Or the whole... You can't move the sail
No,
drive?
sail drive's fixed in place, so you've got to, in effect, lift up the engine and bring it back, I believe, about 25 centimetres and separate it from the sail drive or the gearbox to get to the...
To be able to change it. What are you doing?
I'm getting it done.
Wearing many hats.
This is,
Today's hat is...
to build the support we need to
to lift the engine.
lift the engine.
Meanwhile, you're carrying your man bag, his mobile office, and he's already been a husband and taken me on a coffee date.
So, this is our structure.
And then what I'll do is I'll just tie a line on it and you can guide it out through the store.
Meet Rick, a fellow liveaboard, a wealth of knowledge and experience, and the right guy to help us with this job.
So step one,
Yeah.
exhaust elbow.
Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this off, and then I wanna
Make sure it goes on exactly the right
I
spot.
wanna make sure that this alignment with the sleeve is in the right spot.
Understood. So step two is throttle cable.
Alrighty, so this just want to make sure I document which hole right here that we're going into, which looks like the second one in from this direction.
Did you just loosen the coolant overflow?
Overflow thing, because it's like right here, and there's probably enough room, but
Here it comes. Well done, so coolant overflow.
alright, go back inside there. Okay, so that's fuel, and that for sure is not long enough. And this is the return line.
Yeah, so both fuel lines are going to need to come
So
off.
you don't have a shut-off valve on the return, do you?
Yeah, we do, both at the tank.
So
I've shut both.
Okay, great.
You reckon
So-
we'll get enough play out of the wiring harness?
Yeah, if we release the harness from down here, it'll kind of come straight out. I think we'll have enough room.
Okay, this is the wiring harness before we start, so I'm going to cut these zip ties.
So that's the old one.
Okay, we're just taking off the faceplate, which is what I call
I
it.
think that's a really good call. That'll get it to work. When in doubt, pound it out.
How heavy do you think the engine is?
I'll bet you she's 300 to 400 pounds, and I might be wrong.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that it's harder to pull than I thought it would be.
Yeah, give it back to you or pull?
No, you pull.
Here we go.
That's good. So we're almost free. I guess gotta move that way
Yeah,
more. So I need you to lift
yeah, here we go.
that stuff. So I think you're right. We gotta move this.
Yeah.
Set her down for a sec.
So you.
Okay. Now bring her forward. Walk her forward a little bit. That's good. See that? Yeah.
All right, do you want me to bring it up?
Yep.
Here we go. All right, so down in here is the pinion.
Let's look in the engine bay. We have the sail drive, the engine, and just behind the engine is the rudder stock. To be able to get to the pinion, we need to separate the engine from the sail drive. However, there is not much space between the engine and rudder already. Once we have the sail drive separated from the engine, there is only just enough space to remove the pinion drive assembly.
Rick's done a phenomenal job with his, what do you call it? Your block and tackle? 8 to 1?
8 to 1 block and tackle.
Look at it.
Pinion is free now.
Do you want to pass me the nuts? Are you happy with them?
Let me just get this out of here while we can.
Let me see if I can help move the engine, because we're giving the sail drive a wee bit of a hard time trying to get it out.
Come on. Get back in there. I don't want that shim going anywhere. Oh.
Okay. And there it is.
That's way better than I thought.
And in there, I believe, is the seal. Well done, Rick.
What's that?
Well done. We have new house batteries. So, it was a really good turnaround by the guys at Bockus Marina. They helped us out heaps, so let's believe they're all good. But they're 66 kilograms each. And I'm not going to lift them onto the boat. No way. I'll use a halyard somehow. We'll figure it out.
We got the batteries back to the boat. Now we're trying to figure out how to get them on board without breaking anything.
Alright, so
we winching the new batteries up.
How far? Just to here, okay?
coming down.
Yep. That was good.
Done.
Okay,
Right.
we need a little bit more to undo it up.
You ready to start lowering, Shane?
Yeah, you're already here. Okay. Bring her on in.
Slowly.
Shove. Keep coming. Nope, hang on for a second.
New batteries for old.
Yeah. Get it done.
Meanwhile, little posse of kids.
Alright, yesterday we had a massive day actually. We took the motor off the sail drive and we installed a new battery bank. So engine removed, new batteries on and hooked up, and right now we are putting the old batteries in the tender. Bells is winching up, and we're going to sort of reverse engineer what we did yesterday. So another big day today, but making progress. Hopefully the seal that we need for the pinion gear arrives this afternoon or tomorrow morning, because that's what we need to actually replace. That's why we pulled the engine from the sail drive. Yeah, so that's out of our hands. We've done everything we can there.
3 out of 4 batteries were still good, but it's good practice to replace the whole battery bank at the same time. Our old batteries were gifted to a home on the island to be used for their solar setup.
Into the vice it goes. No luck on board. This is the one.
Are you ready?
You got it, mate. Well done.
See, you gotta trust me. once in a while.
Well, that's why you're here, mate. And I did, and I did, and I did. I'm gonna undo it, yeah?
Yep.
This is what the dual lip seal looks like on the SD50, and this is what the pinion drive looks like. And I believe this groove that you can see on the shaft where my thumb is the reason why we have an oil leak. Because ultimately this seal has put a groove in that shaft and it does not keep the oil in anymore. So was it a seep or was it a leak? Well, it was a heavy seep becoming a leak. It's not something that I'd be prepared to go to sea with.
It's nearly hurricane season, and we've decided to sail all the way to Nova Scotia, Canada for the summer. This trip will involve lots of sailing, about 2,600 nautical miles as we hop, skip and jump our way there. So Happy Days needs to be in tip-top shape.
All we need now is the seal to arrive on a barge that's on a truck, or a truck that's on a barge. There you go. And the upgraded seal actually sits in a slightly different spot. So it shouldn't be in the same groove. It's going to be a 10mm aftermarket seal as opposed to the Yanmar 9mm. So that should, the groove should be irrelevant. We did buy a speedy sleeve, which is under Ted's hand there. The idea being that this piece here sits over the worn bit and therefore no more grooves, as opposed to buying a whole new shaft. So that's how far we are at the moment.
Woohoo! The piece has arrived. I need to pull the rest of this apart because there's 2 new O-rings as well. One of them is on the outside here, but the other one is internal. So these 4 Allen key pieces off, pull this apart, and at the same time I'm gonna grease it all as I put it back together too. I finally got it. Gosh, that was really tedious and tricky. So I've just been sitting here gently tapping without hitting the metal, gently tapping with a hammer and a screwdriver around that inside edge there, as close to the edge as I could, and that has slowly made it come free. So now I'll be able to pull it out. Alright, so I'm glad we don't have to use this again because I have completely ruined the seal. I don't know if you can see all the dents and damage from pressing the screwdriver against it and banging down, but that was in there good and proper.
Speedy sleeve install time. We cut a hole in the top so that we can use the install tool.
Yeah.
Shannon's getting it done. We're taking the, what would you call it? The edge? Is it a beveled?
Flange.
Flange, not beveled.
Flange.
Look at that. Done.
Right.
Speedy sleeve on.
Yeah.
Doesn't even look like there's anything on there. Yeah. You goose.
Alright,
Oops.
that was the
let's
easy
go.
part.
We're getting there. Almost.
Okay, quick update. We have re-meshed the pinion into the sail drive. So now we need to go and hoist engine, line up the pinion drive, put it back in, and then reattach all the moving parts of the engine that we had to take off, like exhaust elbows and fuel lines and yada yada yada.
We just have to get our alignment on our spline to work.
Agreed.
Woohoo!
Put in 8 bolts, connect a bunch of hoses, and we're golden.
I think throttle cable is the second last thing to do. Throttle cable,
Boat
battery cable.
Boat yoga.
You're an amazing man, Rick. Exhaust elbow, fuel lines, all hooked back up. We're almost there. Go time on the engine. Engine on.
Yep.
We did it.
Success! Thanks, Rick.
We're in Bockus, and Rick's in Bockus. This is the man.
Get some help.
You see my
Well, if
type.
you're sharing an anchorage with my type.
Yes.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
need something done.
We move around and we, you know, and I do
Lots
do
of
all
things.
kinds work. Yep.
It's very handy.
All right, we are doing a test run of the pinion seal, and just opened up the engine bay and had a look around, and all looks okay at the moment. We'll run it for an hour or two at our normal cruising RPM, check for oil leaks. So far so good.
Meanwhile, on our little test, what are you up to? We are going to go look at the weather, or Chris has already looked at it. I'm going to look at it with him and decide if we're leaving tomorrow. Big
I
decisions.
feel like it's going to be a just get it done passage. And they sound alright when you're sitting here on motoring on flat water. But a get it done passage, yeah, well, you've just got to grit your teeth. Righto. Before we go to sea, we always go up the mast.
That was a bit embarrassed though.
That was a bit embarrassed.
I'm not wearing any pants. Look at her face.
It's
She's
just like
disgusted.
a small
She's like, Mum,
dress.
you're rude.